Welcome back to the Thrift Store Rundown, helping kids gain more confidence in cooking with pop culture, safely, stylishly, and frugally, on a budget this back-to-school season. When teachers use the word test during the school day, I hate to exacerbate your immediate imminent pain, but let's try to do some math. Let's add the word kitchen alongside the word test. Kitchen, test. And that equals test kitchen. Okay, so your spirits might be a little more lightened. Now let's add the word America's to test kitchen. And what do you get? America's test kitchen, which in turn equals quality. But none of that would matter if we didn't add some fun to this equation. And for that, I bring you the complete baking book for young chefs. 100 plus sweet and savory recipes that you'll love to bake, share, and eat, which cost me about $2.99. It is a Source Books publication. It's also a library copy, as evidenced by this tape here. Tape here in the first page. Tape here in the next two pages. And believe you me, you see how the light's reflecting on the tape? That's how you know it's a taped copy, so there might be some imperfections. This is from the River Falls Public Library in River Falls, Wisconsin, and to that end, I think it's only fitting that we let a young library enthusiast give you the deets on this cookbook. Meet Gabby from the Meridian Public Library in Meridian, Idaho.
Ask your mom and dad. They probably have heard of America's Test Kitchen. Well, I love that just as they've done cookbooks for adults, they now are doing cookbooks for you guys. This one is called The Complete Baking Book for Young Chefs. Now, things I love about it, at the beginning, it teaches you all about techniques, safety, and some important words that you need to know when you're starting to cook. It's a really good introduction. But don't think that this is a cookbook with PB&J. I promise you, it's not. There are recipes like corn, tomato, and bacon galette. What's even a galette? Do you guys know?
A galette is nothing more than a free-form pie or tart made without a pan.
There's a recipe for focaccia bread. There is a recipe for glazed sugar cookies, and it teaches you how to make royal icing. Like I said, this is not a cookbook for little kids. And there is also, America's Test Kitchen has written one called The Complete Cookbook for Young Chefs. So think savory this time. Think things like chicken and beef and seafood. There's really great pictures, a lot of stuff about it, tips and tricks. And just like America's Test Kitchen kind of helps you know what to do, this does too. It tells you why we let bread rise in a pan. Why do we use baking soda instead of baking powder? I cannot wait for you guys to find this cookbook and others.
And now another quick look inside the complete baking book for young chefs. And now a deeper look inside this book. All the important safety information, plus essential prep tips, a glossary of cooking terms, and much, much more can be found in the introduction of this book, the first few pages, as well as a rundown of all the equipment you'll need. There are no ingredient recommendations from the tasting lab, and there are a sparse amount of equipment suggestions named by brand. So I guess this is just going to be a case of using what you have around and making the most of it. The chapters in here are as follows. 1. Muffins, quick breads, and other breakfast treats. Yeast breads. Pizza, flatbread, and other savory baked goods, which is what we'll be focusing on today. Chapter 4. Cookies and bars. 5. Cakes and cupcakes. 6. Fruit desserts, pies, and tarts, plus confessions of equivalents, and for parents, recipe stats. Nutritional information can be found on page 220 for all the recipes contained in this cookbook, much like its predecessor, the Complete Cookbook for Young Chefs, which I have reviewed, and you can watch that review by clicking the link below. From personal pizzas to beef empanadas, baking isn't always about the sweet. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you count this variation on the empanadas, 9 recipes in total for this section. And with each recipe you get fun food facts, fun historical tidbits, and rave reviews of each recipe from the kid testers who tried them. In fact, over 4,000 kids tested each and every recipe, all acknowledged in the introduction. Quote, "Thank you to everyone who helped make this book as delicious as possible." So let's give you a rundown. Pizza dough for personal pizzas with homemade easy pizza sauce. And some topping recommendations if you want to make it your way, a la Sinatra. Kids know who Frank Sinatra is, right? Terran Sarah Pepperoni Pizza Rolls, which got a double amazing from 10-year-old Tammy. This recipe was amazing! I can't tell you in words how yummy this recipe truly was. All I can say is that it was just completely amazing! The most overused positive adjective in today's basic millennial Generation Z YA thesaurus. Do we have to break out the Merriam-Webster dictionary? I'm not criticizing you, Tammy. I would have to agree with you that looks amazing and should taste amazingly delicious. Well, each recipe gives you the stats on time, how much time it will take to prep, how much time it will take to cook, and if need be, to rest. A list of ingredients and equipment you'll be needing as well. Plus, some give you step-by-step instructions for certain components in assembling the recipe. Like this, shaping Terran Sarah pizza rolls. We also have buffalo chicken lavash flatbread, if you really want to broaden your horizons in a scrumptious way. Corn, tomato, and bacon galette, or gillette. Mini beef and cheese empanadas, with some step-by-step photographs for shaping empanadas. Brazilian cheese bread, pão de queijo, or queijo. I'm not really Brazilian, I'm Puerto Rican American, and yet I'm kind of shy about that because I don't know much Spanish. Oh well. On the right here, you'll find some important safety info for using the blender. That would be it. Now, I have to say, because this is a baking book, this is predominantly on the sweet side. But accentuating this book throughout is a lot of colorful graphics, and of course, the glowing reviews of almost every kid tester that tried these recipes either inside the test kitchen at Boston's Innovation and Design building or in their own homes, in their own kitchens. This is definitely a kid-friendly cookbook, one that's a feast for the eyes, as well as it has the potential to be a feast for the taste buds, because they're all easy to follow, and because you know it's America's Test Kitchen, you know you're getting definitive flavor. And as stated before, parents, you can feel comfortable getting the nutrition stats here, knowing that not only are these delicious, they're also nutritious. Important nutritional statistics that you can find here again on page 220, so you can rest assured that what you're feeding your child and what they're helping you make is kid tested and kid approved for their health as well as for their taste buds. This retails for, let's see here, $19.99 in the US. There's no retail price in Canada. Baking isn't just for cupcakes. Want to make your own soft pretzels or wow your friends with homemade empanadas? What about creating a soul-stopping pie? Maybe some chewy brownies after school, from breakfast to bread, from cookies to cakes, yes, even cupcakes! Learn to bake it all here. You can do this, and it's fun. Again, $19.99 in the US, and check out the link below for my review of the complete cookbook for young chefs. I paired that alongside Master Chef Junior's cookbook. And speaking of Master Chef, bargain bowler alert, I have the first ever Master Chef cookbook that you'll want to check out soon. The complete baking book for young chefs, for quality's sake, earns 4.5 out of 5 claps. This is one test that everyone's gonna want to make the grade on, because it's just too much fun to fail. And speaking of Test Kitchen, while America's Test Kitchen might be my favorite, there is another favorite Test Kitchen of mine, second favorite I should say, that we're going to be visiting virtually in tomorrow's review. And that would be the Food Network Test Kitchen in New York City. Tomorrow we're taking a virtual field trip to Food Network's HQ. And we'll also be having a look at the kids' mini-mag inside their September 2018 issue of Food Network magazine. That'll be in tomorrow's video, which means that does it for this one. This might lean a little towards the sweet side, but don't just take my word for it. Take the words of the kids whose raving reviews permeate almost every page of this cookbook. This is 100% sensationally savory for all taste buds, young and young at heart. From America's Test Kitchen to your kitchen, an excellent recipe for owning the school cafeteria. Thanks for watching. Parents, here's hoping your cookies don't crumble this back-to-school season, whether they be chocolate chip or buffalo chicken. Sorry, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy flashback. In any event, I'll catch you on the flip side.
Making dinner. It's so routine you could probably do it with your eyes closed. But sometimes we forget that it took years of watching an adult we knew make dinner. Years of learning how to measure and how to taste before we were able to get that job right. Kids love to help with grown-up activities, and when you let them help out, that routine can add a sense of calm or regularity to their day. Now, it may not seem like a big deal, but when you show your child different sizes of measuring cups and spoons, they're learning basic concepts like bigger and smaller. And by measuring ingredients, they're even doing a little math. The more the child you care for can work with their hands, the more they develop motor skills and walk away with a good feeling because they helped you out.